Hey everybody, I made some goalposts that would work on turf, specifically for Segway Polo. I know that we had some issues and the only ones that we had that would work on turf were back at the WAS Cup in 2009 that Olaf put together. So what I wanted to do was I made my own variant. I showed off a prototype at the California Classic this last weekend. What I wanted to do is give everybody an idea of how to make those in case they wanted to take it on for themselves. So the first thing we do is I start off with a piece of 1/4 inch steel. It's straight 1/4 inch steel. We came up with 15 inches in diameter. This weighs probably about 15-16 pounds is my guess. I put an 1 5/8 hole in the middle of it, and that 1 5/8 hole is the receptacle for my spring. What I did here is I took an 1.5 inch spring, was 9 inches long originally. I cut it in half. I then cut out a piece of circular steel. Again, this is lighter. It's not 1/4 inch. It's smaller than the 1/4 inch steel that we were using before. Put that on there and I welded it to the bottom of the spring. This is going to be our base. And then on the top side, I welded a 3-inch long clevis pin to a washer, and then put the washer on top of the spring and did a bead of weld around the top of that. So what we end up with is a clevis pin welded to a spring. Again, this spring's 4.5 inches long. It's half the width of the full spring, was 9 inches, and then welded to a plate. I take this plate, or this pin area, and I just stick it right through. And there's some play in here, but it's okay. This sits well on the turf and gives us the spring tension that we needed. I then took a piece of 1/2 inch PVC, which actually fits perfect above the or on top of the clevis pin. It fits snug and nice and tight. Then I also took the black electrical tape and just spiraled it around and capped the top. We're going to put some flags on here eventually, but this is where it stands as of today. This fits right on the top of the clevis pin, and I'll show you that over here. So we just take the pole and slide it right over the top of the clevis pin, and it slides pretty nice. This is regulation 5 feet height, and it gives us a nice springiness to it. Works really well, and it doesn't damage or hurt you. Of course, on here, you see a little bit of play. Once it's on the turf, it sits perfectly flat. I'm going to cover the top in grip tape so that if anybody happens to hit it with a wheel, they won't slide off or anything like that. And I'll show you a little bit later actually running over it in the Segway. We did do trials on both an i2, an X2, and a Gen 1 Segway. They all run over it fine, and we even actually run over the spring with the wheel itself. Doesn't seem to be any problems at all. So I hope you can take this and make one yourself. They seem to work, and they work really great for turf. Here's to you. Bye.
Okay, I actually covered up the microphone when we were recording this section of the video, so that's why it looks like I'm talking, but I'm not, so I thought I would just do a voiceover because the video is still relevant. I wanted to make sure that you guys all knew that we ran over this and tested this using an X2, an i2, and a Gen 1 unit. They all seem to be fine. There isn't any problems with them. The significant portion is that even running it over, it comes back up. It should have enough spring tension to deal with wind or any other problem, and of course we're going to put a flag on the top of it. The next section though, what you're going to see is I'm going to run it over in slow motion. I did slow motion because I want to show you that I'm running over the actual spring. Notice the spring under the wheel. That's the biggest portion that you want to look at, is look at under the wheel right there and see it get crushed. Again, we've done that with the same thing with an i2. Didn't impede the rider at all, so it looks like it's going to be safe, and I hope you guys build your own. I think the design's okay. Maybe you can modify it.